So now we have the questions and answer session. If anybody has any doubt or comment here, there was a question. I don't know if they want to maintain this question. You were talking to each other, and thank you. I had a comment and a question for the presentation of Julian. The comment is with this small failure you talk about the removal of the Oracle rack. And I think this is a problem that we have in general in the public administration. I work for the Valencia regional government. We are used to pay licenses and consulting hours and tuning of the products and we have to pay every year for that. But when we speak about open software, then we are not concerned about doing also this contracting, because we do not know all the products and all the configurations, and we need to engage somebody who is an expert, because sometimes you say, well, if this is open software, how are you asking for a price? But this is a work they have to do. And the question that was done by Jose Vicente about the use of a wrapper that was connecting Oracle with Postgre. I don't know if before the migration to SQL, you did some kind of test or something. First, the comment. Well, yes, in fact, I think I'm a technician, and I'm a technician in the same way as you are.
You're right. If you decide to use open source and it's up to you, and you make the decision, then you encounter that type of problem. I'm very fortunate because my current boss, the director of the Geographic Center, is very supportive of these technologies, and he doesn't mind spending money in it. Because in fact, you know, when you buy private software, you spend a lot more. And besides, you need sometimes to resort to consultants. Open source software is now more open to this type of actions, but you know, you can always have a try. You can always do your own attempts. With private software, you couldn't even do that. You had to buy the license and then try. So in my opinion, we can reach, you know, some points, but obviously it's not easy. It's not all easy when you use open source software. No, things need to be worked on, and that's one of the problems I find with open source software. Because if you want to coordinate different packages, different solutions, it takes a lot of work, a lot of setting up work. Obviously, it's easier if you buy your own customized private software solutions, but it's nice to try and find out yourself. We learn a lot with open source, and that knowledge you will never lose. It always stays with the administration. The problem with private software is that in the end you only learn to use one tool, and that's it. You are not able to generate new things with private software. For instance, the solution of gweb Cache for the tiling or for the pre-cache. Well, it doesn't work with us for some reason, but because we were able to read the source code, then we've managed to generate a tile calculator which tells us for each geographical coordinate the file that is generated in GeoWord cache. And that allows us to go directly to the file and see if it's okay or not. And then the other comment, migrating from Oracle to Postgres. Yes, we knew there were some solutions with Enterprise DB, but I suppose I'm going to be told off because we used Benjamin. We created the structure, SQL for the creation of tables, contents, etc. And then we loaded the data with FME because we already have the license, because we can use it, and because to some extent we're a little expert now. So let's be consistent here. Don't delay projects in the administration simply because you want to use any open source software that comes in handy for you. No, I wouldn't recommend you to do that. Yes, let's use as much open source software as we can, but based on that, from then on, if you need to resort to private software because you already have it, well, use it. You can use it, of course. What do you think? Do you agree with me or not? Thank you. Well, let me tell you what happened on the IGN. We were thinking, or they were thinking of migrating, but they had a few doubts with Oracle because they were using some functions that they couldn't find elsewhere. So the little push they needed was, the fact that they had Oracle spatial in servers with a lot of RIM, and anyway, the salesperson went to the company. He told them what the cost was with those processors, and they realized that with the money they would have to pay for maintenance for 1 year, they could start migrating that particular database. So you want to study things, really. Some things are easy, other things are harder. But with open source, things are not impossible. You can at least try and see if you can go further. Yeah, open source software is all fine, but to some extent I work for the administration, and one of the main problems in the administration is the lack of staff. If your staff is very limited for developing an application, etc., if you want that person or that member of staff to also deal with open source software, you can't. And at the end of the day, you must hire someone from a company to come and advise on that. So you're given sort of a final choice. You either don't do it or you have to pay for it. Well, not exactly. If you compare costs and prices, well, I can't tell you how much an Oracle license is, but I can assure you that with an Oracle license, you could pay my salary for a whole year. So you could have me working on migration for a complete year to study this with the money you would pay for a 1-year license. But you're right, it's very few of us working in the civil service, in the administration. That's why we need to be helped. And by investing a little money, we learn, and we learn from all this. That's the most important thing. We can learn with open source software instead of spending everybody's money on ad hoc solution. I can learn, I can try to do it myself. I can try and understand what has been done, what is there for you. And to me, that's a huge advantage. Do you have deadlines to meet? Are you pressed, with your turnaround times? Of course. That's why it took us 2.5 years. What did you learn? Yeah, I think this discussion is terribly interesting. I could say a few things myself about open source, but I don't want to be told off. We're running late, I'm sorry. We're going to stop here because the other subjects are very interesting as well. Thank you. Thank you very much.